10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Blurvers, and welcome back to another episode for the Blurcher. My name is RJ, and I'm joined, as always, by my dynamic trio, my squad, my team, my bros. Jay, what's going on, man?
What's happening, y'all? How y'all doing? Dynamic trio back in the building.
We back. And as always, we got Trigger Trey in the building. What's going on, man?
Hey, Trigger Trey, aka the legitimate lethal lemonade. We back here again.
You said lethal lemonade.
Hey, if life gives you lemons, then you get more lemons.
I like that. That was a good one. That was good. We have to remember that. Yeah. But fellas, we are gathered here today to decide the fate of Eternals. I know we all seen it, but we haven't had a chance to sit down with each other to kind of break it down. So I figured, we're on hiatus. It's good that continue to make some content. So I figured let's just get on a quick live and just have a casual conversation about Eternals, because I myself do not know how I feel about this movie. I'm very indifferent on it. I go back and forth with whether I loved it, whether I didn't, or whether it was mid. So I'm going to need y'all help today deciding what I thought about this movie. So before we start, y'all know I'm indifferent. So I'm going to start with Trey. What did you think about this movie overall? What did you think about Eternals? And if you're watching, listening, feel free to join the conversation. Comment down below and let us know your overall thoughts on Eternals and join the conversation. So what's going on, Trey? What did you think about Eternals?
Man, honestly, I thought it was really good. I keep seeing the critics, they just keep tearing it apart, but I just thought it was really good. I thought that we had good characters. I thought that the comedy in it was good. The action was good. I low-key did call the little double cross we saw there at the end. I just kind of felt it from the beginning, but overall, I just enjoyed it a lot. Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, Gene? Everybody check out Big Heckweight Adventures, a great podcast for all you nerds out there. Jay, what did you think of Marvel's Eternals? What's going on?
Man, you know what? I'm with Trey. I like the movie. I don't care what anybody says, because in my opinion, this movie was a lot different from what we've seen with Marvel movies. We'll talk more about it in a little bit, but overall, I just thought it was a really good movie, man. I didn't really have any many complaints about it.
Yeah. See, I see what you're saying, and everybody check out Momentum Media as well. Another great reviewer, content creator, as well as Blur It Up. What's going on, Killer Cam or Monique? We're not sure who's behind it, but hello to both of y'all. We love y'all both. I kind of feel what Alex from Momentum Media is saying, because before we go any further, if you have not read the description, this is a spoiler review. So if you have not seen Marvel's Eternals and you do not want to spoil for you, feel free to pause this, go watch it, come back later on. But make sure you drop a comment and let us know what you thought about the movie down below. But I kind of get what Alex from Momentum Media is saying, because there are instances in this movie where I feel like it doesn't work as a movie, whereas it would have worked a lot better as a television show, because there was so much to cover. And to add what you said, Jay, this movie was different from most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's formulas that they use and that are successful. But I feel like this time around, they tried to do something different, but it felt really like a DC movie more than anything. And it's something that I think that is refreshing, but at the same time, it's like, the movie felt so unfocused to me. It felt like it was all over the place with his flashbacks. And now with Shang-Chi, I feel like they did a great job of flashing back and explaining things, because right when I was thinking, well, what the hell is going on here, Shang-Chi would flash back and they would fill in those gaps as I was thinking it. Whereas with Eternals, I felt like I would be like, well, what the helicopter is going on? And then they wouldn't answer it. They were just like 20 more minutes of just talking, and then something else happened, and then they would answer what my question was. And by that time, I had 20 more questions. So like I said, there are instances of the movie that I really liked it. I love the performances. I think it was beautifully shot. The costumes, bro, that was my favorite part. I love the costumes. What was your favorite part?
Go ahead,
Man, let me tell you, my favorite part was when Druid came up behind Icarus and just bowed, like knocked her out. Like this pistol whip that little girl in the back of the head. I was saying, oh, so okay, that's one way to get things done.
Man, I mean, high key, she had it coming. So
Honestly,
I agree.
what was your favorite part, Jay?
Honestly, man, Makari. I love me action, RJ. You know how many times I said that.
Yeah.
So many times, man. When you do action scenes really good. But overall, besides Makari, just I think every single scene with Brian T. Henry in his role, because I just think he's a great actor. I think he's underrated. I think he had the best lines personally.
Mhm.
I think also with having the best lines, in my personal opinion, he knew how to deliver that.
Yeah.
He made it believable for me. He made it feel like, a lot's going on. But yeah, I mean, those are my other favorite parts. But just when Makari was just doom, just whooping that boy Icarus, I was just like, man, Icarus, you ain't nothing no more.
yo, when they said to find the point of emergence and she just zoomed past the whole earth, I was like, this is really dope. This is cinematic.
Yeah.
That's the thing though, Trey, is that when you do action scenes in general, they didn't bite off more than they can chew. What I mean is that they didn't do anything too extra to make it look even cooler than it was. It's just like she's a speedster. They didn't do anything like have her flash powers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like go back in time and blah blah blah. Have like electrical powers and stuff. It's just she's a speedster. And what I like about that is that just the action scene itself is it was nothing like we've seen the Flash, we've seen many other portrays of that, but what I really like is how they show the action scenes and then like how everyone else got involved with that, because some movies don't do that. It's usually like a one-on-one thing.
Yeah.
But they had every time someone threw a punch, another person was coming in doing something. That's what I like.
Okay, I will say that I feel like the action scenes were definitely laid out well, like the fighting. You mentioned Makari, the speedster. I feel like she definitely. I like the fact that they didn't do anything like cool with it. The fact that they just let her be just like a straight speedster and show her power through her speed only. She didn't need any kind of like running between the raindrops, or she didn't need any of that. At least in my opinion, I felt like her character was powerful enough just with her speed alone. Because honestly, even without the effects, I feel like she put everybody to shame. She damn sure put Quicksilver to shame. Because he died in
Oh yeah,
MCU Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Yeah. She definitely put him to shame. But yeah, it's one of those things where I have things that, like I said, that's why I need your help talking through this, because I had things that I did enjoy about the movie, and I had things that I didn't enjoy about the movie. Alex from Momentum Media definitely hit on something that I didn't like. The CGI, I felt like the deviants kind of looked like I felt like Pokemon looked better than the deviants. I felt they could have been a lot more, I don't know, blended into the environment. And I think what happened was, being that the Eternals was shot in such a way, that the cinematography and the tone and the color palette, and you had these bright ass dogs that came in, it just looked weird to me. It kind of threw me off.
Yeah, well, so I mean, because we do have to point out some things too, like about this movie, even though I'm biased and I really liked it, but you do got to be honest with times too, is that, the deviants in comics, they're these green creatures.
Yeah, they're like trolls, right?
They're pretty much trolls, right?
Yeah.
But we already have Skrulls in the MCU. So we had two green people walking on the screen.
Okay.
You're like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I do agree with you on that, RJ, because at the same time, it did throw me off a little bit, because this movie's a prequel.
Yeah.
So it's telling the story from the beginning of time and how the deviants have been here forever. So either the deviants, maybe they didn't say that, but maybe there was a time that they were green and they kept evolving. Now, they did talk about their evolution, because they
did
were
say
dying
that,
off.
yeah.
So what's interesting is that if they like if they did evolve, then that's what they evolved into. But I mean, there wasn't really like any talk about that. But the design of it, yeah, I agree. I was just kind of like, they look like the dogs off of like the new 2018 Predator movie.
Yeah.
Y'all seen that?
I was just about to
yeah.
say they reminded me of like xenomorphs or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
which
So that's
kind
why
of, I mean, they
big
still
fan.
look cool in my opinion, but I see what y'all talking about. The CGI was a little.
It
iffy.
stood out. It
Yeah.
stood out a lot, and I think that especially coming on, and I think probably my problem with this movie is coming off the heels of Shang-Chi, which was like had like masterful CGI, masterful storytelling, and then you have this, and it kind of is like the Black Widow when you compare Shang-Chi to Eternals, and I think that's kind of what problem is. I'm not saying I'll compare everything to Shang-Chi from now on, but coming off the heels of seeing a dragon, in the final fight, just seeing a dog that looks like the not Entei or Suicune, whatever, the legendary Pokemon, like to see a bunch of those, it just kind of throws me off. So I was just like, yeah, it just stood out. It stood out to me. But overall, I like the fact that the action sequences definitely felt like, there was risk. I felt like, they were in danger. I love the fact that everybody got to shine. And I felt everybody got to shine equally. There wasn't one Eternal where I was like, his power was whack. I liked how they, kind of let everybody shine.
No, I agree. It's just that's why I think it's so hard to pick between the character, because I loved every single character and what they did. Even Icarus, I still like his powers and stuff that he did. He's a traitor, but it was just so cool, like what he did. And I think everyone in this movie got their own individual shine. But I do want to talk about something real quick though, because you're probably gonna agree with me on this. Now, when you have an A-lister like Angelina Jolie, right? And you have an actor who's not as known, but she's known, the Asian actress that played not Makari. The other Asian girl is in the film, and she was the other lead, Cersei. I'm sorry,
Cersei.
She's
from Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes,
Gemma Chan.
Gemma Chan, thank you.
Yeah.
Great actor. But it's just that Angelina Jolie's been in the game so long, it was kind of hard to see her as that secondary character because Gemma Chan kind of, I want to say overshined, but she definitely was trying to fit the presence of a main character, versus I think that Angelina Jolie is such an OG, and she should have been the main character in a way. That makes sense.
Yeah. Brogy, everybody check out Brogy's work too. Another great content creator. He said Icarus was boring until the heel turn. Those of you not familiar with wrestling, a heel turn is when a character who's a good guy turns out to be a bad guy, either short term or long term. But yeah, the heel turn, I think he was like a generic, boring white guy until he turned. But I definitely enjoyed his heel turn for sure.
The minute Icarus showed up, I was like, something feels sketchy about this dude. When he was like, I just came to check on you guys because of the earthquake. Y'all are eternal.
Yeah.
Y'all been living for millions of years. Like, you check on because of an earthquake, they're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, I'm like, because I agree with Trey on that. It's like, some of the words because like some of the words that Icarus said in this movie, I'm just like, like it's just when you watch movies, people say certain stuff. You're like, what are you?
I didn't catch that.
Like that?
He just came off the whole movie as someone who was not truly a good dude. So I was like, yeah, y'all, he's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He's gonna.
Trey, until you said that, I didn't think about it. That went right over my head. Like there's been the thing in New York and with the Avengers. Several times, and you're like, yeah, there was an earthquake. Came to see if you're okay. What? I didn't catch that. That's funny.
No,
I did like though that they talked about the blip a little bit. They talked about Thanos, and they mentioned they brought the whole other side of the MCU into it.
Because I agree with Trey on that, because that's another thing that it's touched on in the MCU right now. But Trey, let's be honest, they've only mentioned it in like maybe one Spider-Man film. We saw it in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah,
but they didn't really explain it. They just said people are back. But it's like, okay, but they've been gone for 5 years. So what happened in those 5 years? Because obviously, I mean, Eternals can't really tell that because the blip just happened, you know, at least in the modern day. But Eternals is going back to the Aztec, to the Aztec Empire, and you know, anywhere in Egypt, going all different kinds of places, and they are trying to keep that continuity. But what they're doing is that they're not focusing on the modern day. They're telling us what's leading up to the modern day, and they talked about the X gene in this, which is really important too. They talked about the X gene.
When did they say what?
So there's a scene. I don't know if you caught it, but they said that there was another gene because when Cersei was talking to the Celestial, she said that, like, you know, what happened when, you know, all these molecules got spread out through life, and Celestial was explaining that, like, there's another molecule that was a gene that accidentally did not attach to any other human, deviant, whatever source, and that just branched off into the universe, and it attached on to other life forms on different planets, and it created the X gene. So there's already X-Men out there, technically. So, but they didn't really explain it that well. It was just kind of quick. I caught that though.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm with Shane. I probably need to see it again because I don't remember the gene part. But like I said, it's like, well, I think Eternals runtime is like 2 hours and something. It's almost a 3-hour movie. So there's a lot that could have been missed. We just need to sit down and like watch it again. Like, and it's not, and I'll say this, it's not a movie that I won't watch again. You know, I don't. One thing I'll say is I get why people don't like it, but I don't get the hate of the movie. Like when I tell you, when I watched, because I like to kind of watch the movie before I watch people's reviews, but after I watch it and trying to figure out if I liked it or not, I watched a couple of reviews, and it was so many angry white men talking about the diversity in this film and then like trashing it. So it was like, did you not like it because you just didn't like it, or did you not like it because it wasn't a good film? And it just was, I don't know, like I don't understand the hate for this movie. I get from a critical standpoint, but I don't understand the hate for this movie. I truly don't. I don't know what it is. What's going on, Hank?
It goes back to what Trey was saying. Like, you know, the reviewers gave it a bad score, but it's like, what was really bad about this movie? Like, it's not rated the worst MCU. I don't think so. Because
not when Thor's out there. Not when Thor 2's out there. There's
because I hate Thor 2, but people don't like Thor 2. They rate that as the worst Marvel film. This movie,
I honestly thought that this was better than Black Widow.
Yeah.
I watched this before I watched Black Widow.
I agree with that. Because what it does is that it's people. I think a lot of people. That's another thing. I'm not trying to change people's minds or opinions. I'm just trying to give people a different perspective. But it's just this story was not focused on. I think people didn't like it is because it wasn't focused on the modern day.
Yeah,
like you said, when you have to go back in Marvel and tell these stories, and there is a lot of diversity in these stories because there's been X-Men who are diverse throughout time. So it's like that doesn't make any damn sense to me.
Yeah.
So it's just this prequel movie is just.
I think the way it was structured kind of threw a lot of people off. Like I said to y'all before, I feel like if they had to just like started us in 5,000 BC and just like work their way up, as opposed to like 5,000 BC present day, this, you know, present day, this present day, and they just kept going back and forth. And I feel like that just caused a lot of confusion. And rather than just explaining these things as they were happening, they let a bunch of time pass. And then I feel like they kind of like, they buried the lead when they told the audience about the heel turn before the characters knew about the heel turn, because we knew this whole time that, you know, so-and-so was on the wrong side. And I don't know, I felt like they buried the lead on that. But I don't get the hate. I get the criticisms, but I don't get the hate.
Sorry, that's my laundry. But yeah, I agree, man. It's just,
you're good.
Late night. It's done now.
I still gotta do mine.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I see what you mean, RJ. Let's be realistic. It's you got to make things for some people at least just slow down a little bit because this movie was a lot. You know, we went back. There's we do a 20-minute scene, then we go back 5 minutes. You know, the Empire, and then we go 20 minutes, and then vice versa, same thing to another scene.
Yeah.
But the only thing that they didn't do, which I agree with you to an extent on, is that they didn't, when they went back to, you know, BC and AD and all that, they didn't really explain like of anything that happened in this time. You know, it's like they went back to the Aztec Empire. It's like, okay, we're here, but what are we doing besides taking out deviants?
Yeah.
That's
and
the whole
giving them
purpose.
technology is like, if y'all not supposed to do anything besides kill demons, why y'all turning up with them? Why y'all taking shots? Like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
You know what I had a problem with that I just kind of thought of was they didn't really explain Druig's reasoning for not stopping wars, because when he left the Eternals initially, he was like, "Oh yeah, forget this. I'm not having these people fight all the time." And then you meet up with him in the present, and they're like, "Well, why didn't you do anything?" And then he's just like,
He started a
"Sometimes
cult.
humans got to do what humans got to do." Or it's
Yeah.
like, like, keep that same energy when you left. You like have your little cult here in the middle of the rainforest.
Man.
My man's left the Eternals because they wouldn't let him stop a war, and all he did when he left the Eternals is to start a cult. Like, you're supposed to change the world, man. Like, what happened? Like, y'all in the middle of the woods with overalls on, and like, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. I agree with Heck though, because he was just commented saying, like, I mean, you know, I mean, it was still a great movie. I love everything about it. It's just there's some things that can, because people don't know this backstory, and because that's the problem too, is that Eternals, after their first like comic lines, like, you know, the 60s and 70s and all that, even in modern day today, like, when have you seen Eternals in comics? Like, I've never seen Icarus in any other form other than older comics. So it's like the story is, it's there, but it's like it's not. There's nothing past this.
Yeah. No, I feel you, Shane. I'm not gonna lie. It was a time where I was kind of like dozing. It's a long movie, and it's not primarily an action movie. It's a movie that relies heavily on dialogue.
Yeah.
So there were kind of parts where I was like, all right, y'all, like somebody needs to swing or something.
Yep. No, I agree. There's a lot to
Pick says Eternals was originally a DC project. This felt like a DC project.
And that's another thing too, because what's interesting, just real quick, is because Jack Kirby, at a time when he went to DC, he was trying to write the New Gods, and then he came back to Marvel. That's when he wrote Eternals and all that. Because because you know, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby had that whole argument about, you know, just issues, whatever it was. Jack Kirby's like, all right, F this, I'm going to DC. And then DC things didn't work out because the story was so bad. And then he came back to Marvel. That's when he wrote Eternals, because he had a project about gods that he wanted to write. And after that, New Gods didn't work out.
Everyone, make sure you follow Hero Harrison Talk for your comic book needs and knowledge. Everybody follow him at Hero Harrison Talk on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and as well TikTok. He gives you knowledge, and he helps you sort through your comic book feelings, apparently. Everybody follow Jay at Hero Harrison Talk.
Appreciate that.
Now, for real, he does good work.
Isn't Thanos an Eternal technically as well?
Yeah, he's half Eternal, half demon.
He has like a gene or something like that, right?
Yeah, he's like.
And that's why he's purple, and his brother, which we'll get to later on.
Yeah.
We'll get
Thanos is a mixed baby. That man has a lot of DNA.
Yeah, he's
biracial.
I see myself in
Thanos. He's hella biracial. He's definitely the definition of biracial for real.
Next thing you know, Thanos gonna come up and hit you with the new light skin face.
The light skin squint. Light skin Thanos.
Well, I mean, let's talk about Thanos' brother, aka Harry Styles. He gonna come up and hit you with the light skin face.
Yeah, I like Harry Styles in the end. That was unexpected.
Yeah, I like that. I think that was definitely one of the more exciting end credit scenes that we've got from a Marvel Cinematic movie. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I liked about this movie, a lot of things I didn't, but I just don't feel like it's one of the movies that deserved the hate that it got. I feel like they drug Eternals back worse than they drug Black Widow, and I feel like it doesn't deserve what it got. I feel like Black Widow's a worse movie than Eternals, but we'll never see them drag Black Widow the way they dragging out Eternals.
Yeah. And there's so much about this movie that is that we still need to talk about. But one thing is that this movie, people are talking about that after seeing it, they want a prequel. I mean, another sequel to this, which would be another prequel. But I'm iffy on that. I mean, I don't know how y'all feel. Besides, before you get to the end and all that, but it's just I'm saying this because it's a lot, and if you're gonna go back, you have to explain more about X-Men. You explain more about Celestials because there's more than one Celestial out there. And who are you gonna bring back? where's the story going to go? Are you going to talk about Baby Thanos? Is
Yeah.
War Machine going to try to go back in time and kill Baby Thanos? Like,
Yeah.
but,
It poses a whole new question. I do want to ask y'all too. Because this movie, another issue I had was there was no real villain. I mean, we kind of knew there was a villain like towards the end, but there was no like main focus the whole time. And I think that's kind of what my problem was in the beginning, towards the middle of the movie. We didn't really get a goal until the very end. They weren't working towards anything. They were just like literally chilling and having dinner. Meet an internal, have a dinner, somebody dies. Meet an internal, have a dinner, somebody dies. You don't have a meeting, somebody dies. So do you think that Marvel has a villain problem where they can't really give us a good short-term villain?
That's a good question.
You know what else? If you think about it, in this movie specifically, the Deviants weren't really even villains. They were just trying to stop the Eternals from killing the Earth.
Yeah,
they were the good guys.
Yeah,
that's a good
They
point.
really painted them out to be bad guys. They said out of the darkness or whatever the Deviants formed or came or whatever. But low key, would this make Thanos the hero because he slowed down the emergence?
Yeah, because
maybe that was Thanos.
I mean,
maybe Thanos knew. We just doing random theories here. Maybe Thanos knew, and he was like, "I need to stop it, and let me just snap my finger." I don't know.
I agree with that, but Trey, go ahead, man. I know you got something to say.
no, I mean that was it. I was just saying that Deviants weren't really the villains in it, and then I think that maybe they have a villain problem, whereas they want to introduce too many villains. So they're introducing these villains and then killing them off quickly so they can get to the next big bad. Just kind of lead up to the one big bad. So that's why we haven't had many strong ones stay for a long time. Like they just killed off Thanos. So what's the next one? And then we're getting hints at it in the shows. But in the movies, it's hinting at something bigger too. So they just want to keep introducing new villains. So I think that's what the real problem is.
I think they need to slow down, Trey. I mean, Ultron is a robot. He could still be out there, but I mean, you got Killmonger's dead. Shayna mentioned, Thanos dead. I mean, those are two pretty big villains, and there's other villains and stuff. You got Iron Man villains, but overall, here's the thing, though. I don't want there to be just one big bad. I want there to be a lot of big bads.
Yes.
So got Baron Zemo in the universe. You still got Abomination, but it's just like, but now here's the thing, though. What Marvel's doing now, they're taking some of these bad guys and they're like teaming up or becoming vigilantes, and they're going into these stories, and it's like, okay, so they were a bad guy, but now they're good. Because there's too many good guys now. It's what it seems like.
What else they're doing is, since they have all this access to some of their big bads that they didn't have access to prior to the Fox buy that Disney did, and the partnership with Sony, if pray that still continues, they have access to all these villains now. So they're just probably trying to get them out there while they can.
I agree. But what RJ said, he brought up a great point with Thanos. It's Thanos, and I said on my my TikTok videos too, because was Thanos really a villain this time? Because he maybe have saved half a life. Because again, that whole planet was going to get blown up. Yeah, that's what they showed.
He was an unintentional hero. He probably didn't have the motives to be one, but in the long run, he ended up being a hero because if he reduced half the Earth's population by a certain amount, and the deviants were put there to reduce the population to slow down the emergence, in theory, that would make Thanos the hero of the MCU, but an unintentional, because we know he just was doing it for his own reasons.
He's not the hero we needed, but the hero we deserved. No, reverse
that. Yeah,
but there's so much that happened with well, not like Thanos talk, but it's just like with Thanos in general in this MCU. But if they do it in Eternals too, I think they have to tag on Thanos a little bit more.
Shayna is not letting up on Thanos' neck tonight. Shayna is on Thanos' neck.
But I mean, he is. I mean, to me, of course, he's definitely a villain. But at this time, maybe he did something that he wouldn't have thought was heroic, but it was heroic.
What I do like about the MCU, though, that they do is they give you a perspective of the villains, and then you're just like, he has a point.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And that's what
Like-
goes back to defining what good and bad is, because
Yeah.
there have been movies where RJ, you've seen like a bad guy protecting his family.
Yeah.
You see that towards the end, and it's like, but he's doing all this bad stuff because he's just trying to protect his family. But there's more into that, obviously.
But okay, so I want to talk about something too. You just mentioned when we were doing our Falcon and Winter Soldier reviews, we all kind of like okay, and I think Marvel does have a villain problem, but I do believe that I think we don't. I think they have a villain problem because we're only looking at it on a surface level. When you look at Carly from Falcon and Winter Soldier, her thing was like, yo, before everybody came back, everybody had resources, everybody was chilling, and then everybody came back from the snap, from the blip or whatever, and now, the world is right back in the same chaos and the same lack of resources before. So it's like, Carly, I think her name was Carly. Carly was
Yep.
of Falcon and Winter Soldier, but in a sense, like, I kind of got where she was coming from, like, yo, y'all were helping us until these people came back, and now you just abandoned us and we don't have anything, and people are dying, and so it's like, I don't know. I get where Thanos is coming from. Now, I want to ask you guys this, and I want to ask y'all also in the comments. Did I make a banner for it? I probably did not. All right, so I want to ask you guys this. Towards the end, where Sprite and whoever was siding with my job, what the fuck is what's his name?
Who?
The big this celestial.
Oh, no, it's I forgot his name too. There's so many. Their names are hard to pronounce. It's like ancient.
Ajax. No,
Let's
not
just
Ajax.
call him the big guy.
The big guy. Yeah, the big guy. The big guy. Would you have let them destroy the Earth as you are instructed to do, or would you have fought to save the Earth? Because we said we understood where Thanos is coming from. We understood where Carly's coming from. Do you understand where the celestial beings coming from? I want to answer first. I would have fought to save the Earth. To me, there's no question about that. There's a difference between snapping and then half the universe go away so people can live comfortably, or what Carly was trying to do, besides you blowing up a whole planet for a celestial being to come forth. I'm sorry, Sprite got on my nerves. I can't believe she sided with them in the end, and it pissed me off. This y'all. So y'all get on me for not liking kids, but this is exactly why I don't rock with kids, because she was stupid.
No, I agree with RJ on this, because I didn't like Sprite either. I hated her for doing that. Like, how you gonna? And I mean, I'm with you too. I would save the Earth. I'm not gonna wait for something to happen. I'm gonna take action. So, and with Sprite, that's another character, in comics that's just, it's kind of like a Loki,
Yeah.
And she is dirty. She is like that. She has her good moments, but again, I didn't see that coming. But still, it's just that made me mad, because you said you want to contribute, but here's the thing: you wanted to be human. Why are you contributing to a celestial that does not care about you? Obviously, doesn't care about the Earth, because there's cosmic scientists. They're going to just experiment on everything.
Jay, I have an answer for you.
Go ahead.
For love.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Sprite being out here being a pygmy.
Yeah, makes me want to throw up. But yeah, I just think that she was my least favorite part. That made me really mad. She betrayed all of them. So that's all I gotta say.
I gotta take back what I said at the beginning, because I said Druid pistol whip Icarus. He pistol whipped Sprite, and that was my
Yeah, that was Sprite.
part.
Yeah, hard too. I was like, oh my goodness.
She had it coming though.
Out. Man, I know she's not a kid, but I was like, damn, we knocking kids out like that.
Brogy said Sprite ran out of stories to tell.
That's why she did that.
So you ain't got no stories.
I have a question though. They made her human, but does she still have powers?
I don't think so, because when Celestial pulled her into space like they did the three Eternals with powers, because he didn't pull Sprite, he pulled just those three. So I think what's going to happen is they're going to try to find Sprite to see if there's a way for them to locate the rest of the Eternals, because they didn't pull her out of from the Earth.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't pull dude that left, the movie star, what's his name? Also, they didn't explain him either. I thought he was going to come back. Nope, he was gone.
Who? Gilgamesh? Who you talking about? Gilgamesh?
Maybe
No,
no,
Kingo, the Indian gentleman.
yes,
Yeah, Kingo.
Bollywood
Yeah,
star.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
They pulled Kingo, right?
They didn't pull him.
They didn't
You
pull him
sure?
out.
They pulled Cersei. They pulled
Cersei,
Cersei,
Druig,
no
and
Drew, because Drew go on the ship.
oh yeah, Druid was
oh
on the ship.
yeah.
Yeah, he was on the ship. Because that was the scene when he was saying he was trying to save everybody. They're like, nah,
Yeah.
don't do that.
Yeah, they pulled Cersei. Man,
What is his name?
2 other people.
Wait, so who? I'm sorry, you're talking about who again? The
The celestial being. He pulled 3 people from Earth.
oh Arshem. Arshem pulled Cersei, not Icarus because he's already behind the planet. Cersei, Gilgamesh died.
It wasn't Thena because Thena was on the ship.
It wasn't Thena and
It wasn't
Makari.
Makari was on the ship.
Makari's on the ship. Yeah, I forgot who it was.
No, it had to be. Shit. It had to be the. What is his name? I can't think of his name.
I got you.
I'm trying to look at Wikipedia, but this movie has so many freaking characters, man. But I also think that was something that yeah, Kingo, Fastos, and Cersei. I knew they pulled those 3. Yeah, those was left on Earth with powers.
Yeah, okay.
They did pull the 3 of them. Yeah,
that's right. I really like Festos in this too. So
Fastos, okay, Shayna, yeah.
But yeah, the Bollywood dude, what's his name again?
Kingo.
Oh, they pulled Kingo? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, it was quick. It was like really quick.
But they didn't explain why. I mean, they said why he left, but I thought he was gonna come back.
Yeah,
I really thought he was gonna come back.
Yep.
He let us down. He was one of my favorites. He was hilarious. Him and his assistant. Yo, shout out to the assistant where he was just like, "Oh, RJ not feeling the assistant."
Yeah, Karun.
I was not. When I tell you my, I don't. Maybe it's a South Carolina thing, but nobody in my theater was laughing.
I was. Hey, AK, watch what's going on. How you doing?
Yeah, nobody I laughed at with watched. So,
he was just cracking me up because he just kept having cameras. I'm just like, how many cameras?
That was funny. That was funny.
And it low-key, he got me kind of emotional when he was just like, I mean, thanks for, I live on Earth, so
yeah,
you guys decide thanks for serving us or whatever. Like, I was like, oh, that's kind of sad.
Yeah, that was dark. I was like
him as a human learning all of this and like he can't do anything. I was like, that sucks.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I wouldn't have accompanied them. I would have went home like, yeah, y'all deal with that. I don't got no powers. Y'all ain't about to get me caught out here.
But yeah, man, I think Kingo is a character that didn't. I don't know if he got enough screen time, or maybe just they did it on purpose just because they needed somebody for that role because he's an Eternal. So
yeah.
But I really liked one scene I really liked with Festos, which I was just like, oh man, yeah, like Icarus, you are nothing now. Because when Festos is like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to clip your wings for a minute, and he boom brought him on the ground like. With
that mean they had beef for a minute. Y'all had beef for like thousands of years.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, he been holding this in for a long time, and I like that. I really like that.
Who is your favorite Eternal, or who do you think would win in a battle of the Eternals? Based on what we've seen from the movie, not the comics, based on what we've seen, who do you think would win? I'm
gonna say it was. So it's either Thena or her boyfriend. What's the dude's name?
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh is actually Gilgamesh because Gilgamesh could body Thena. He'd make her yield or whatever. So Gilgamesh was my dude. Also, I want to point out that this was the only other thing I've really seen him in other than Train to Busan. And the whole movie, I was trying to figure out where I knew him from. And I was like, oh, Train to Busan. But I really liked him just as a character, and they killed him off. I was so bummed out about that. But I think he could body him.
Yeah, man. No, I agree. I'm with Trey on that. And see, it's a problem. What Shayna said is like she mentioned a comment about how when Brian T. Henry had his scene and he kissed the other man. By the way, he was in Jack Ryan. He's a good actor too. But anyway, this I don't. Why is that such a big deal? With a you could tell in the movies that like this is his first time kissing another man. He was not enjoying that. But that's not the point. It's the fact that if you're playing a role, you have to play that role. And he went in not giving a damn what anyone thinks. He's not gay at the end of the day. Who cares if a man's kissing another man? There's plenty of gay movies out there.
Too about everybody deserves representation, and it's even with the deaf community finally getting a deaf superhero. You know, I feel like it's one of those things where at some point we have to realize that not everybody's a cis straight white male, and it's gonna come a time where we're gonna have to have or see these things that quote unquote make us uncomfortable, you know, in order for people to be accepted and feel like they're represented across the board, whether you be religious, you know, whether you be religious, you know, anti-religion, whether you are Democrat, Republican, whether you're black, white, Asian, you know, Polynesian, everybody, able, disabled, everybody deserves representation. I feel like that's one thing that I mentioned earlier, where I felt like whenever I watched the review of the Eternals, it was always, you know, I was watching it and I was kind of feeling what they were saying until they got to diversity. And then it was just like this anger that came out of people just based off of things not being straight white men. And it's like, do you understand that there are other people out here that live different lives, that have different experiences other than, you know, than looking through the gaze of a white person? And it's like, I don't know. I don't understand the hate behind it. I don't understand. It's like, I get it. And it's really disappointing the fact that, you know, that was the first gay kiss Marvel has had and people are flipping out over it. This is the first deaf character that, you know, we've seen, you know, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and people were complaining about subtitles, you know, for the deaf character. It's like, come on, man. Like, people have to be represented.
People complaining about a gay kiss when Loki was making out with himself.
Nobody talks about that, right? I want to focus on
Loki is self-pleasuring himself, like,
and he's dating his sister. I don't care what y'all say. That's incest.
I mean,
no problem with the incest.
Nobody talks about that either, man. But it's like, again, that goes back to the whole, and you know, he's a black man too, Brian T. Henry. So it's like, in this, he's gay and black. So it's like, of course, he's gonna get more because nobody wants to see that, especially. So, just get over it. Get over it. Everyone's gonna be represented in these movies one day. And see, this is the thing too. I want to say about Marvel, because a lot of celebrities and people in general are talking smack about Marvel movies, saying they're horrible, they suck, they're boring, blah blah blah. But if you think about it, Marvel brings in every single category and every genre of what movies. They bring in action, comedy, romance, drama, all that. Am I wrong? Because what they're doing is they are setting the tone for genres and putting it into one big film to have everyone represented in different ways. So I say, if you're complaining about diversity, I don't know.
You're the problem. Like, Shayna made a good point. It's like, y'all don't have a problem with Cersei getting smashed to smithereens on the beach, but you have a problem with the peck. Like,
right, and it was a peck.
She literally had like sand in her butt crack from getting smashed on the beach. But that's fine in a Marvel movie. But God forbid two men share an intimate kiss when one's probably gonna go die and try to save the world. But like I said, people will never, you know, people are always gonna complain about things. And it's one of those things where we're just gonna have to either start ignoring it, or they're just gonna have to stop watching, you know, Marvel movies, because like I said, everybody deserves to be represented. I hope we get more gay characters. I hope we get more deaf characters. You know, I hope we get more characters of color. It was refreshing to see an Indian gentleman, you know, in a movie. You know, one thing I do want to see though, I want to see a dark-skinned black woman, not in Wakanda. I want to see a dark-skinned black woman play a main character in a Marvel Cinematic movie. And this is no shade to this and they or no other white light-skinned women, you know, Hollywood, Amanda Stellberg. You know, I feel like we see the same type of black woman in every movie. It's always a light-skinned black woman with a loose curl pattern. I want to see some darker-skinned women, you know, at the forefront of Marvel. That's the one thing I feel like diversity that we're missing, because Eternals was great across the board as far as diversity, but I need to see some dark-skinned black woman with like a fro. That's what I need.
Monica.
Yeah.
She coming.
Monica, yeah, she coming.
Yeah. When you lack representation for blacks because there's plenty of proof of it. We've had a Halle Berry in the Storm role. We've had I forgot her name, but she was in she played Storm as well in the newer X-Men movies. Both lighter skin. Trey, I know you're lighter skin, but you still know this is true. It's the fact that when people are representing black in Hollywood in the industry, being light skinned, no offense again, Trey, is seen as safer. It's seen as more acceptable. It's seen as okay, pretty much, because you're lighter. Black women there's not been a black lead. Like, I mean, come on, like Proud Mary with Taraji P. Henson. No.
I didn't even see that, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
exactly. That's the only black.
that was whack.
That's the only black woman.
Even in the Harder They Fall, Stagecoach Mary was not a light skinned woman. You know, it's like, and it's disappointing that, you know, when it's time to class a black woman, they automatically go like light skinned, and it's like, come on, y'all, like y'all can do better than that. But like I said, it's a start. You know, I'm proud of Marvel for even, you know, considering to diversify that the way they did, because they could have very well just went, you know, with the grain and just did something to make people comfortable. But I'm happy we got to see people. I'm happy we got to see people represented in this way. So hopefully we get to see more of it. But like I said, that's one thing I noticed that in the reviews I watched was a bunch of angry Proud Boys being upset that there was diversity in the film.
And you know what's funny? Just last thing I'll say. You know what's funny about that too is that these so-called fans are not. These are the ones who don't read comic books. And I'm not saying you got to be the biggest comic book reader. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying don't bash a movie if you don't know the background of it. Because what if I said, Trey, your Jordans are stupid? But it's like, no, they're not. Like, these are fresh. And then it's like,
I will kick you in the face.
That's my point.
That's crooked.
See, like, so it's just like people need to get over it. Them glasses, yeah. Snap the glasses off. I ain't wearing my glasses now, but yeah, just better representation. I mean, it's fine to have light skinned roles, but it's just for the right role. Like if Storm is going to be light skinned in MCU, which Marvel knows better, I'm not gonna be mad, but I'll be disappointed.
I hope
they know better.
Yeah, that's just about to say straight.
They know better.
They know better. I don't know. I feel like his Alexandra Shipp definitely was Storm, although it wasn't like Marvel, it was Fox Marvel or whatever, but she was definitely Storm, and she definitely did not do a good job. And she definitely was laughing when the internet told them that they were going to recast, and the internet definitely laughed at her when we found out that they were going to recast. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Do they? It's gonna be Zendaya.
Oh, don't you dare! Don't you dare say that.
It's gonna be Zendaya.
No, it better not be.
Blackish. That's what it's
gonna be. Because Storm has to be a thick, beautiful black woman, with all angles, curvy, and just have this like powerful, like strong voice. She has to be like that.
Let's just cast Tiffany Haddish.
No. She does not have the right credentials.
Get Issa Rae in there.
I can see that. See Issa Rae in there.
I actually be okay with that.
Just as long as she's not light. It's gonna be Zendaya or Yara. It's gonna be one of them.
Yara, yeah.
Watch. It's gonna be breaking news, and they're gonna recast MJ and give it to Yara and make Zendaya Storm.
Oh my God!
What are you talking about, Doja Cat?
Doja Cat is Storm.
Let's get Saweetie in there.
I would hate that.
Yo,
Cardi B.
Y'all are funny.
Just stick to movies. To the music, please. Please.
Cardi B as Storm every time lightning strikes. You go meow.
But yeah, if you gonna cast someone again, like there's a lot of people, like you can, like, you know, there's some women in the Black Lightning show you can cast for that role. You watch Black Lightning.
Good. The woman who played Nafisa.
Yeah. Just saying.
Like you should drop a blue.
China McClain. Let's get her in the MCU.
You said what?
Let's get China McClain in the MCU.
No, keep China Anne McClain Christian ass away from everything that has nothing to do with Christ. She,
I don't want her in the MCU.
I had to block her ass on TikTok because of her videos or whatever. Like every time, like Lil Nas would drop something or somebody would bring something up, and she'd drop a Christian video. And
okay, so I take that back.
Man.
Let's get Chloe Bailey in the MCU.
Chloe Bailey.
I feel like I'm impartial because I feel like, I feel like I don't want another light-skinned woman, but I would not mind seeing Chloe Bailey in the MCU.
I just said that because she's fine. That's
really
she's biased.
That's my only reason I want her in the MCU.
But yeah, I mean, again, like if they do talk about like X-Men and stuff, and Stormers eventually like, they go back to Africa and talk about like the roots and all that, just make sure you just cast a dark-skinned woman, please.
Yeah, just cast it right,
please.
Meg Thee Stallion.
Meg Thee Stallion, her knees are superheroes in itself.
Right? Superhero knees. Can we get y'all to drop a blur this Bond in the chat? But yeah, also let's talk about these end credit scenes since we're nearing the hour mark.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the end credit scenes? The first one, which one was first? Was the Harry Styles one or
Harry Styles?
Harry Styles was first. So what do you guys think is going to come of that one?
So my opinion, Star Fox in comics is obviously Thanos' brother. I think they'll probably tap on that a little bit if they do an Eternals 2, because it seems like they're setting that up now. And they might talk about Thanos, and Star Fox might explain about Thanos in his past and like how they grew up together. That's my opinion.
Okay. Right.
You know, I don't really know because I don't know that much about Star Fox. I've only heard his name mentioned a few times in random comics I've read or random YouTube videos I've seen. I'm really more intrigued about his little friend.
Pip Patrol. Yeah. Pip Patrol is actually
interesting to me.
Yeah, Pip Patrol in comics, he's actually revolved around the Silver Surfer. So that's going to be really interesting to see if like Pip Patrol, because he's always going to different planets and exploring with Galactic Quest. So if they keep him around, he's kind of like a Howard the Duck, kind of. Okay. Except more universal and gets more screen time than Howard.
Let's get more Howard in the MCU.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's gonna go. Like Trey, I'm not too familiar with the character. The only, like I said, I knew there was a Star Fox and Marvel, but when you asked me Star Fox, my mind automatically
Nintendo
64.
Yeah.
My mind automatically goes to, like, I'm a gamer, so that's where my mind automatically goes. So, and even when you Google, like that's the first thing that came up because I wanted to Google it after I left the theater or whatever. After I finished watching it to be more familiar about it, I Googled it and I was like, okay, and I saw Star Fox pop up, and I was like, okay, so it's not just me. But yeah, so let's talk about the second end credit scene. We see a dull, boring white guy go for a sword, go for a weapon.
You don't like Dane Whitman?
I do.
You don't like Jon Snow?
Not real. I like him. It's just like another white guy with brown hair and generic haircut that we're gonna
understandable.
Yeah. So he goes and there's a voice that says, "I'm sure you're ready for that." What did you guys think of that, and who do you think it is?
It's Blade.
Well,
I've heard
100%.
that.
That was Mahershala Ali's voice. When he said that, I was like, I know who that is.
You think? That's okay. Blade. He does have experience with like ancient weapons and stuff like that, so you know.
But
what
also,
do you think, Jay? Oh, Trey.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I was excited because I didn't realize that was Black Knight. Jon Snow was Black Knight, and when he pulled out the sword, I was like, "Oh, this is gonna be really cool." Because Black Knight has a lot of history with the Avengers, and just even his ancestors have a lot of history too. Yeah, and if depending on what Black Knight this is, his father could have been a villain, so we could see that go on. And you know, Black Knight also has a little history of Blade too. So I'm just really excited because I think I saw somewhere it was confirmed that was Mahershala Ali's voice too.
Yeah. At first, I didn't think it was him at first because I did hear that rumor, at first I was like, is that Nick Fury? But then like when we were walking out of the theater, Trey, because Trey and I went to go see it together. We had a deep group, and then I was like, hold on a second, that was Black Knight. Let me do my research in my head. Black Knight, they announced that like a long time ago. And then now, we have other people coming to this universe, especially going back in time. You had the Eternals and stuff. But I'm thinking like, who else has had a history of Black Knight? Merlin. Okay, well, Merlin's not in this movie. Is it Adam Warlock? No, he's not around here yet. Blade. Duh, because you don't know why. Also, because in Loki, vampires were referenced. So it's like we already know that vampires are in this universe. Because I said that.
I was also, the whole time we were walking, I was like, that was Mahershala. That was Mahershala. That was Mahershala. Everyone was like, who? That was Mahershala.
Yeah, I mean, but no, I thought about it at the end. I was like, dang, like that's Blade. Like, why am I overthinking this?
Yeah.
And that they do have that that history too. I mean, Blade vampires go way, way back, especially with Dracula and stuff, and that has good knights and Black Knight stories. They, their history ties into all that. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. Fair enough. So, like I said, I think this conversation has not helped me one bit because I'm still on the fence of whether I like this movie or not. I think I'm going to have to wait for it to come on Disney Plus for me to watch it a few times for me to really kind of like get my bearings of whether or not I liked it. But I will say that it does not deserve the hate that it has been receiving on the internet. But haters are going to hate, potatoes going to potate. So it's going to be what it's going to be. But before we get out of here, scale of 1 to 10, fellas, what did you think about this movie? And do you think it's a movie that's worth going to see in theaters? Or do you think you should wait for it to hit Disney Plus?
Go ahead, Trey.
I'm gonna give it an
Drop
8.
in the comments too. Let us know what you think. 1 out of 10. We say, Trey?
I'm gonna give it an 8 just because I feel like they did try to give us a lot, and some things were just kind of left on the back burner, like we have a lot of questions about, but I still think overall it was very good. I would say it's a good theater experience, but you're not really missing anything if you don't see it in the theater. So maybe just wait for a Disney Plus.
Okay. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with Trey to certain parts. I give it an 8.5, just because I know the backstory, and just I just really like how I like prequels. I like stuff that adds up to the modern day. So 8.5, and overall, I just thought I wasn't confused, but there are parts where it's just like you could have done this a little better instead of going back in time so much. Unless you should have stayed there at one point and talked about it, because I feel like they could have talked on some really key points about other things going on in the universe. But if they do Eternals 2, then by all means, do it. 8 out of 10. Or 8.5 out of 10.
I have to say I give it, and y'all going to like get me, but I have to give it like a 7.7.
That's fine.
Only because like I feel like it would have been a better show. There were so many characters that did not get fleshed out. There was so much of the world that we know what the MCU is, but as far as like the Eternals and that world building, there was so much more that we didn't really get to touch because it was such a and to be fair, they had to cram a lot in the time that they had, so that we didn't get to see as much. But I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's something that I would go in the movie theater to see if I was like to recommend somebody. It's definitely something that is not. I don't want to say like it's not important to the MCU because it is obviously, but I feel like it's one of them things where like you'll be all right if you just wait for it to hit Disney Plus. But before we get out of here, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like this video on your way out. But before we go, Jay, where can we find you at, man, on social media?
Find me on Twitch. Find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Now I'm very active on there at Hero Harrison Talk. Got some more podcasts dropping this week. And just more content coming every day, man.
Cool. Trey, where can we find you at, bro?
Y'all, I changed my @ I'm no longer Spider-Boy Trey with 2 eyes instead of a Y. I am the Fly Spider Guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I just changed it on everything. You can get me on Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, and yeah, it's at the Fly Spider Guy. Easy spelling, everything spelled correctly. And make sure you guys check out my t-shirt shop, triggertraytees.com. I low-key have a lot of designs on there, and I keep drawing stuff, and I just keep putting designs on there. So go check that out. See, and Hero Harrison TikTok is going crazy.
It really is. It really is. Putting in work. So
Blowing
make
up,
sure you
man.
check them out. You can follow me on social media at the Avatar RAJ across most social media platforms. We are now on TikTok. We haven't made any content yet, but working on that. I get home every day from work and I'm tired, so we'll work on that though. But things will be slowing down for me now because I have some things that are in the works and they're finally coming together. So now that that's slowing down, I can focus back on making content with my boys. You know, we got some stuff coming way soon. We're doing a trailer reaction this Tuesday to Spider-Man, so we're gonna try our best to refrain from watching it, so we can do a trailer reaction for you guys. Not sure if it'll be live or not, or edited, but we are gonna do a trailer reaction. Like I said, we're not gonna watch it because we don't want to get in here like being fake. Like, oh no, what? Whoa, can't believe it.
Wow.
Whoa,
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
crazy.
crazy. So we're going to
Yeah.
try our best to not watch it so that we can give you our organic thoughts. Then that's going to be with Wade from WCW on our on the Silver Side Network. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, most importantly, subscribe. With that being said, everybody have a great evening. We'll see you Tuesday, later days.
And Blurred is Bond. Don't forget that.
There you go, Blurred is Bond. It's been a while.
And also, last thing I do want to mention, y'all, we are coming back for Hawkeye really soon.
Yes, we are.
So make sure y'all, we're gonna be promoted up. I will, Trey will, all of us, or RJ.
We will.
So
And
make
you
sure
know,
y'all be on the lookout.
and y'all know when we do these Disney Plus shows, we'll be going for weeks at a time. So we want to see y'all every week in the comment section, making us laugh, throwing your theories out there, and waiting for Mephisto to return. So
he's
God.
here.
he's here.
He's there.
He's there somewhere. He's there. He's there. So thank y'all for tuning in. We'll get at y'all another time, later days.
Blurred is Bond.
Blurred is Bond.
Come on.